Greetings, fellow poopies. It's been a minute, as the New Yorkers say, hasn't it? For you see, I'm just so old, wise, and mature now. I simply don't have time for this facade, this frivolous activity of the youths known as posting on the line. I'm just so mature and wise and out on the town. I just I just don't have time for these young immature scandals. No, I'm pretty much the same as I've always been. I wanted to, dust off this account. Yeah, let's pull it out of the attic and dust it off. Oh, fat poopy. I made it when I was what, like 10? I think I was 10 when I made this. Maybe, yeah, I think it was 10. Might have been 9, might have been 11, but I'm pretty sure it was 10. I made like 1 or 2 videos with my friend Trevor that were just like music videos. I think the first one we ever did was the Bazooka Bubblegum song when that was viral back when I was like 9. But we did that on a different website. I forget which one. But then like right after that, I jumped on Fat Poopy. And yeah, I was just a fat poopy, bro. I was just making videos, just being hype, being hilarious. Just the fact I named my first ever like virtual like nickname account Fat Poopy, and I really just sat there and I stared at that name and I was like, what should I name myself? Fat Poopy? Perfect. Like the fact I just stared at that name and I had a serious face and I was like, yeah, that me. Like I crack myself up. I'm a mushroom. I'm a real fun guy. But now that I thought by the time I hit 25, I'd be like a pro wrestler, like a jacked WWE superstar. I'd be Batista. Might create a character from WWE games, and I'd be super buff, athletic, etc., running around, fucking super famous. Oh, sorry, I got a censor for the kids. This is YouTube 2025. Frickin'. No, obviously no kids are dusting off and watching Fat Poopy. Unless, Fat Poopy gets a Mr. Beast feature, then, I'm going to get all the subscribers. You heard? But nah, I thought I would be in a super like, I'm just so grown. I got the Disney Channel family with the white picket fence and the dog and the baby, and I'm straight, because I'm 30. But no, I'm in fact still very gay, unfortunately. Or is it fortunate? I mean, I be getting the clout with LGBTQ, know what I'm saying? Being gay has never been more trendy, never been more hip and fashionable. We got the rainbows. I actually unironically find rainbows and colorful things to just be very aesthetically pleasing. Hence, some of the thumbnails in my last monologue videos. But I guess this is the part of the video where I get all like serious and sentimental and I try to pretend these monologues have a point when in reality this is just me like having nostalgia over this old account that like 10 people might watch maybe from like my childhood. And shout out to all of you guys. Hey, I see you. I don't actually see you if you comment and you're like, oh, this is your old friend who you probably forgot about because you have a bad memory now from elementary school or middle school. Like, hey, remember me? Then I'll be like, oh, it's my boy. By the way, I'll just out myself really quick. I think I might have mentioned this in a previous monologue, but I actually am still active on YouTube, believe it or not. Aside from this account where I, upload every like 5 years. My gaming account, which sometimes I stream with audio, so you'll actually be able to tell it's me. Other times it's just like quick little game streams without commentary, sometimes with commentary, like I just said, or just game highlights or little inside joke dumb videos or some tutorials. It's Colorless Angels, all one word with a Z. You're gonna see a anthropomorphic husky. Black and white, looking pretty cool. I got very fortunate with the artist that I got to, do that when I commissioned that. It's a very original piece as the thumbnail. And yeah, just go subscribe and then shoot me comments and likes and all that. I prefer comments over likes and all that because comments, I can actually see the impact, or joy or anything I've brought people through my videos. Likes don't really do anything for me, it doesn't do anything for me, sorry to say. But yeah, Colorless Angels with a Z, bro. It's like Dragon Ball Z, bro. I just saw people on Left 4 Dead, and one of them was like, something angels, and it was a girl, and then the guy was like something else angels, and they were a couple. But I was like, oh, that's so elegant and cool, and they're like elegant and cool. But then I was edgy, and I made mine with a Z, and I wasn't part of their group. I never saw them again after that. But ooh, I was colorless angels because I got the colorless part from Resident Evil 5, my third, I believe, favorite video game of all time, right behind Resident Evil Outbreak 2 and Dead Rising. Fun fact, I was #1 in the world on the Dead Rising leaderboard. You can see that video proof on my Colorless Angels channel. But I digress. I'm having an ADHD moment. I forgot where I was going with that. I'll probably play this back and be like, "Doe," I'll turn into Homer Simpson and remember. But yeah, something. Go check out my Colorless Angels channel if you actually want to like comment and stay in touch and all that. But here's the part of the monologue, ramble, etc., where I talk about, all the life lessons I've learned. And I don't go back and like rewatch my other monologues, so I'm sure, I've instilled a wee little, tidbit of wisdom in those. But so I'll just say the things I've learned recently. And then that'll be like the big whys, I'm a monk on top of the mountain, reflecting into the clear water that is rippling when there are problems, but it is clear and calm when the mind is calm. This is my monk wisdom right here is 1, listening is something I've always struggled with my whole life. I recently read a book called The Active Art of Listening. I'm actually not even all the way through it because I kind of ADHD'd out of it. And that's the whole point of me getting the book is like, I need to figure out a way to pay attention to things that aren't just me and my self-centered self. I need to be able to listen and absorb other people's stuff, even though I have ADHD and I'm self-centered. So I bought it physically. I have the book. But I've also been listening to it on Spotify. I'm going to burp, and I don't know if I should do it like right into the mic for comic relief or not. Okay, never mind, the burp went away. So there was that. Hope you enjoyed that tangent. Thank you for coming to my off-topic TED Talk. But I digress. Here's the thing about listening that book taught me. Is listening isn't so much about understanding and taking the words that somebody says literally. It is about effectively playing detective and figuring out what emotions are being conveyed or what message they are trying to get across. That is what listening and communication is all about. So don't get hung up on the exact specifics of what somebody says, or if somebody's, rude and an a-hole to you, or grouchy, or, untalkative, or whatever. I guess untalkative can be a little different. Maybe they just need some alone time, or space, which, respect personal space. But, if people are grouchy or rude or whatever, maybe, don't take, "Oh, fuck you, asshole," or whatever they say, literally, or, personally, especially. Don't take it personally, because nothing's personal, really. What people say is really just a reflection of their own emotions and thoughts and what they're going through at that time. If people take their anger out on you, it's because they are angry and they have a problem. If people give you props, it's because they are choosing to see you in a positive light and they are choosing to express, those props and that gratitude and, instill confidence in you, in which case it's always appropriate to return the favor and give them a authentic compliment back if possible. I'm almost at the 10-minute mark. Holy cow, I know how to ramble. But yeah, it's not personal. Don't take anything personal. Just try to understand the thoughts and message that they're trying to convey, because they can be rude and they can, be like, "Oh, F you, asshole." And it can really just be somebody hurting or somebody needing to, vent and not doing it in a healthy way. And, don't take it personal. Cut them some slack. The world will just be a better place if we can all cut each other some slack, be nice, calm, logical, and unconditionally forgiving. Forgiving it's not optional. Always forgive. Forgiveness is better for your state of mind than it is for theirs most of the time. But anyway, hope you've enjoyed my ramble. I'll probably leave my extra thoughts in the description. Oops, haha, you thought. Editor's note, I forgot it's the year 2025 and I'm doing this all on a smartphone where I can just immediately expand the video and add on without needing to abide by a silly 10-minute 2007 video upload time limit. So here we go, part 2, baby. Woo, yeah. Know what I'm saying? All I wanted to say for my second wise monk, philosophy, wisdom, droplet of water dripping down the petal of a cherry blossom is simply this. I invented a phrase that definitely isn't like, an old adage. I think I'm using adage correctly. I might not be. I don't know. I'll Google it. That's right. You have homework from this video. You need to Google adage because I'm not responsible enough to take responsibility for my own vocabulary. Anyway, there's a phrase I invented called, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And yes, that is a sexist phrase because there are only male horses. Or it's not a sexist phrase. That would have been better for sarcasm. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I'm 30. I'm old. I'm actually not 30. Technically. Theoretically speaking, I'm not going to be 30 until I'm until a month from now. Oh boy. So according to the quantum theory of mathematics, which clearly states, no, I'm getting very off topic. I just wanted to do a funny voice to kind of, show off my vocal skills, you know what I'm saying? Because I like to do funny voices and I like to make people laugh, and I think that spreading joy is like the biggest meaning of life, and that by putting smiles on people's faces, then I'm doing the good. So hopefully this video can crack you up a little bit, you little anonymous cutie watcher you. I hope you're nice and cozy on your cute little bed, couch, shoes that you're standing on, etc., etc., because I have no idea, what position you're in and where you're at watching this. Or do I? Dun, dun, dun. I'm actually watching you through the video right now. No, I'm getting very off topic. This is the joys of an ADHD lifestyle. My second point is that you can lead a horse to water, you can't make him drink, which is a lesson I still to this day struggle to learn. I care so much about people, and I'm a smart guy, and it took me a long time to realize it, even though I had IQ tests as proof. I've taken 4 IQ tests currently in my life, and I won't say my exact IQ because, you shouldn't brag about IQ. It's something you're born with. It's not something you've accomplished through hard work. It's literally a gift. You don't brag about getting gifts, like their accomplishments. But I'm up there in percentiles. I guess I will say 88th percentile. So I am more intellectually gifted and definitely not more physically gifted. That's the point I was going to make earlier when I ADHD'd. I am nowhere near as fit as I thought I would be. I have a muscular, lower body. I literally built myself cake from scratch because I got a leg press with hella weights. So I'm very proud of that. I have almost NFL lower body, which is great. But my upper body, I'm still relatively muffin. And not even delicious blueberry. I'm more like a plain white chocolate muffin, if that's even a thing. But sexual chocolate aside, which is a Mark Henry gimmick, I believe, from old WWE or WWF. Shout out to Mark Henry. Shout out to WWE. I remember growing up watching them, even though we couldn't really afford it. We watched free SmackDown, and it was goated. Before the wrestler who shall not be named, aka he was my favorite wrestler in the business, had his incident. This is very off topic, by the way. I don't know if you noticed. But before wrestling became PG because of stuff like that, it was goated. It's just the world's manliest theater. So I think it's getting better now. It's becoming more adult oriented and they're swearing more again. So it's not as watered down in PG. So check out WWE, shout out to them. They're trying. I think commentary is a little boring and could definitely, be improved because that's half the experience, it's the audio. Gotta, have good audio to go with visuals. But anyway, don't waste your breath on people who aren't ready to hear it, because people don't live in the same objective reality. People are going to live in their own subjective realities where they feel sorry for themselves, and they blot out logic with their emotions. I am guilty of this at times myself, and that's what accountability is owning up to the fact you make mistakes too, and that's something I've struggled with as well, but I'm happy to say I'm improving on. But you can't fix anybody. It's up to people if they want to change, and they got to put in the effort. You can lead people, you can make suggestions, but also realize that we are people, and we are not in charge of fixing everybody. All right, my video cut out. So this is part 3. As I was saying, I'm bad at doing this like live monologue and then editing. I'm not going to do the whole I'm old thing. I'm only 29, about to be 30. So really, like, ironically, I've realized that part of maturing is realizing how young you are in the grand scheme of things. I don't think you can consider yourself old until you retire. Literally, like, that's when you have the right to call yourself old. So I'm young. I'm very young. I'm a baby. I'm a wee little baby. I still got my bonnet and my pacifier and my diaper. I'm just in my crib, goo goo gaga. But to finish up what I was saying, it's not your responsibility to fix anybody but yourself. And even then, give yourself grace, give yourself forgiveness. We're all human. Nobody's perfect. I know we, especially our beloved, like, Disney will, like, make characters that are, like, so perfect. And for me, like, Disney taught me so many of my morals, because heaven knows I didn't have, like, proper parents growing up to teach me them, like, themselves. But I learned a lot from, like, things like Disney and, like, other media. It's not just Disney. But there's definitely this idea of, like, oh, like, people can go through these arcs and then, like, never have problems again. But people relapse, people forget lessons they've learned. And at the end of the day, we just gotta keep striving for improvement, striving for our own personal growth, because that's all we're responsible for. That's the only way you can improve your own life, is to focus on yourself, because you are the only person you control. Even if you're a parent, you don't control your children. They're not a, blob that just a part of your arm that detached and grew into a person, and it's an extension of you. It's literally a whole other person with a whole other brain. You're responsible for guiding them and taking care of them and nurturing them, etc., protecting them, all that. But at the end of the day, you can lead a horse to water, can't make him drink. You cannot force somebody to understand your knowledge, and as soon as you realize that that is a limitation of the human mind, that people sadly will choose to live in their own delusional realities instead of the objective facts of, our shared universe, you will save yourself a lot of grief, and a lot of wasted time and effort and heartbreak, by just acknowledging your own powerlessness when it comes to controlling other people. Because that's what it is. You're trying to control people. You're trying to force people to be fixed when you can't. You can only guide. You can only educate. You can only inform. You can only care for. And that is it. So hopefully those 2 lessons sound pretty wise, and you're like, ooh, that shit hitting, ooh, that shit's deep, you're so wise, fat poopy. And to that I say, yeah, damn right. So I'll finally end this ramble. I extended it twice. I'm about to be 30. My back hurts all the time. I don't know if it's just because I've been laying around playing games for like 18 years straight. Because literally once the PS2 came out, I stopped going outside, boy. I tell you, I used to be running around climbing up trees, being a little rapscallion, and then that PS2 came out. I was playing that Resident Evil Outbreak online. Ooh-wee. SmackDown vs. Raw 07. Oh, this is just nostalgia right here, boys. Trip down memory lane at this point, boy. Oh man, and then that 360 came out. I was playing Dead Rising, I was playing Saints Row, I was playing Gears of War. Dead Rising is still like chef's kiss. They recently re-released that game for the second time, or second re-release, third release, a remaster, and it still holds up even though the third version, the second remaster, is easy mode compared to the OG. Another day, another victory for the OG. But anyway, me misquoting memes aside, I hope you enjoyed my ramble. I hope you've enjoyed what videos are left on this channel. One time I argued with my brother and I logged onto his channel and I put in his channel description, I'm fat. So he paid me back when I was logged into my channel by going to all my videos. I had like 300 videos at the time and deleting like all of them. So actually this channel doesn't even have like all the stuff that it used to have. I used to have like so many more funny videos from when I was younger, but woes, that's the woes of life. You take the good, you take the bad, you take them all, and there you have a ramble from Fat Poopy. Kisses.